corrected or taken care of. If there are any injuries, he's the man. If someone does get injured, he'll do everything he's supposed to do to get them taken care of, corrected, what have you. With young kids who haven't played a lot of football, there's injuries and there's boo-boos. And injuries is something that Bill has to take care of, a physician may have to take care of, or what have you. And boo-boos, that's something that I take care of, okay? Because most of them have not had a little boo-boo on their groin or their thigh or their calf or what have you, and we'll get that taken care of, okay? Bill?
Thank you, Coach. Just so you know about the lightning, we have 2 alerts. One is at 10 miles, and we had one come down about 1:45, and then about 25 minutes ago, it came down at 6 miles. So when the bad weather gets within 6 miles, then that's when we'll come over here. And I know that the sun is out, but this alert, this telephone has a GPS in it. It matches the latitude and longitude of the location of where the phone is and picks up any weather that's in the area. So I don't want you to think that we're making arbitrary decisions about when to go out and when to come in. We're trying to make good, objective, intelligent decisions, because lightning does jump. And trust me on this, I'm from the lightning capital of the world, Florida. And we have already had somebody killed down in South Florida this year who was out in the weather. So lightning is very unforgiving. So just please indulge the inconvenience because your kids are safe and you're safe. 2 things about the injuries. With the day campers, we have a lot of day campers this week. Something happens overnight that changes about your camper and you think there's maybe an issue with his participation, please bring him to me in the tent yourself. Tell me what's going on and let me know, and then we'll evaluate it right there and make a decision. Likewise, if something happens during the day, I'll talk to you before you pick your kid up at night about what to do with the kid that night. That could be the difference between him participating and not participating. I know you all have a lot invested in the camp, and I'm going to do everything I can to keep your kid participating, but we're going to do it safely. Day campers and parents, please, anybody that's got a headache, I don't want you covering it with any kind of ibuprofen or Tylenol, because if they got hit in the head, that's something that we don't need to be covering up. And I will not give your kids anything for pain during the day for a headache, especially if they've got hit in the head. They either can play with it or they can't play with it. If they can't play with it, then they sit and they stay with me until it goes away. If it doesn't go away, then we may have to do something about it. The head injuries are non-negotiable. All right, and they don't get back on the field until either I'm comfortable with it or I think they need medical clearance. And I guess that's about it. Thank you.
Last thing, I got obviously you say four young ladies here, beautiful young ladies. I also have a 5th one. She's your storekeeper. She's been in charge of getting the OD cards, quote unquote OD cards. They're not cards. They're just like an account number here. So make sure so we won't have the kids having.
Daisy here?
Daisy?
It's in the store.
No, so I just brought her. Here you
Daisy,
go.
come on up here, please.
Yay, Daisy.
This is one of our stores, our store girl. And our broadcast women are right here. This will be Bree, Chandrea, come on up so you can get on camera.
Come on, get in front. Come on, get in front.
And then Kayla. And then on the camera there is Katie. Come on, Katie, turn around and come back in there. It's on manual.
Nice to be on camera.
Yeah, there we go. And I hope we have a wonderful camp, and I think we're going to have a wonderful time here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. Players, you guys can get up on your feet so you can see now. Come on, let's go. I didn't say you can talk. I said you can get on your feet. All right, I'm going to call the coaches up and introduce the coaches to you. I'm going to call the coaches up and introduce the coaches to you. I'll tell you where they're from. I'll tell you what positions they're coaching. All of them are from colleges, universities, or from pro situations, okay? First guy I'm going to call up is Len Felton. Len's at DePauw University now. He'll be working with running backs and either linebackers or DBs, depending on numbers. Okay. Next up, Barry Casadilla, right? Casadilla. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Thank you. All right. Barry is from Cheney State in Pennsylvania. He'll be working primarily with DBs. He may do some work with running backs or wideouts, depending on the numbers. And I don't know all of the numbers yet, so I can't say that. Next up, Dan Culver. Dan is from the famous OWU, Ohio Wesleyan University. Dan will work with wideouts, DBs, okay? Next up is Jason Martinez from Illinois College. Jason coaches the D-line there. He'll work with D-line, O-line, okay? Next up is Paul Williams. Paul is one of the quarterback coaches here. He will work some with DBs. Paul is from Ohio Wesleyan. He's the quarterback coach at Ohio Wesleyan. Next up is Dante Crook. Dante is from Marion University. Dante works with the D-line at Marion. He'll help with the D-line. If need be, he'll help with the O-line. Thanks, Dante. Next up is Richard L., also from Marion University. And Richard will work with the DBs and some running back situations, okay? Next up is Paul Price. Paul's a long-time OD'er. Started working camps when he was at Shepherd. Okay. Paul's a West Virginia guy. You can tell by his accent. He has all his teeth, though. I've known Paul a long time. Pricey is going to kind of run the pups. Okay, so that the pups and the older kids are on the same time frames, but different advancement. So Pricey will keep his eye on that through me and make sure that they get everything that they have to have. We consider pups 12 and younger. We consider older kids 13, 14 and older. Okay? And Pricey will work with quarterbacks primarily this week. Next up is Scott Power from Wartburg. Scott's a D-line coach, and he will work some with the O-line. Okay? Next up is Paul Washington. Paul's also from Marion University. Paul's working with the linebackers and running backs. Okay? Next up is Harold Dale. Harold has been an OD before, full of energy and enthusiasm. Harold's a wide receiver coach and will work some with DBs.
Ohio Wesleyan as well.
Ohio Wesleyan, did I say that?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, next up is Martin Mathis. Martin is the defensive coordinator at Marion College, working with the linebackers primarily, has been with us in camp before. And the last guy, also from Marion, Nick Mayrick from Marion University, he's working with the wideouts. Now the two other guys that are working with us, the first one is Keith Rucker. Keith is an all-pro NFL lineman. Okay, so Keith will be coaching the offensive lineman this week. Keith's played, obviously had a Ravens hat on last night.
That was part one.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Tell them all of the places you played.
Cardinals, Bengals, Redskins, and the Chiefs.
Okay. All right. And Keith will work with the linemen. And the last guy that I'm going to introduce is Dave Ritchie. I've known Dave for a lot of years. Dave is, you'll notice that two people have rings on. Okay? Dave is a CFL head coach who has won Grey Cup championships. What, 4 or something? 4 of them. Okay? Probably, if he's not, going into the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame. Dave has coached college football throughout the country before he went up to Canada. Dave and I almost had the opportunity to work together in Montreal. Things didn't work out. And